Thank you, Justice, and to the rest of the Board of Trustees. Thank you to Carrie Watkins and your team. Thank you to everyone who came here this morning to remember April 19th, 24 years later. For being a seemingly insignificant number, 24 is a surprisingly relevant number in the passage of time. 24 hours is exactly 1 day. 24 months is exactly 2 years. Western civilization does not really bestow special meaning on the commemoration of 24 years, but we here in Oklahoma City gather here every year, and so here we are. 24 hours after the bombing, a city, a state, and a nation woke up for the first time to the sickening realization that life would never be the same. For the first responders on this site, 24 hours had passed like 24 minutes. Work was still feverishly underway. For the families of victims, 24 hours meant the infinite pain of waking up to an empty bed, an empty crib. For the people of this city less directly affected, we awoke to an emptiness in our heart and a trepidation about our city's future. For our nation, it was an awakening to a new era of anxiety about our safety and confusion about who we were as a country. 24 months after the bombing, life had found its new normal for some, but not for all. This site was cleared and planning was underway to create this memorial. Families still mourned their missing, with the increasing awareness that no amount of time would ever fully heal that wound. Some survivors had physically healed, others were still in the midst of their recovery. Oklahoma City had long since said goodbye to the last first responders and the last TV crews, and was beginning to imagine a greater city out of the ashes. The perpetrators had been captured and justice was on its way to being done, but any satisfaction was weighed down by the sober realization that the darker instincts underpinning this act still permeated our political discourse. 24 years after the bombing, we stand just on the edge of a new era in our remembrance. In the measurement of years, 24's greatest significance is that it is almost 25. In the way we measure time, 25 years is commonly considered the lifespan of a generation. 25 years is a milestone. No doubt this ceremony a year from today will have extra pomp and circumstance. Once more, perhaps for the final time, the nation's full attention will turn to this place. 24 years signals the beginning of the end of an era. Today, 24 years later, for some, the pain is as tangible as it was 24 hours after the bomb went off. The emptiness left by those who were lost, just as real, or the shock of survival, just as chilling, leaving you changed forever. For you, we the people of Oklahoma City stand here still today, ready to pray for you and with you, cry with you, celebrate you, support you. Today, 24 years later, for some across our city, our state, and our nation, the remembrance is a little different. It is not a remembrance at all. In the state of Oklahoma, fully 50% of all people alive today were either not yet born on April 19th, 1995, or were less than the age of 12. For you, we the people of Oklahoma City stand here ready to share wisdom, earned in the most difficult way. For you, we offer knowledge of the impact that violence brings. We offer the lessons that hatred and a lack of empathy leads one down the path to dehumanization, which leads to violence, which leads to this. 24 years means the beginning of the end of one era of remembrance. A transition between generations now looms just a little up the road. The passing of knowledge and the passing of an obligation from the generation that witnessed to the generation that heard. May the generation soon taking the torch benefit just as deeply from the knowledge of these lessons, and may it assume the obligation of carrying them forth to the next generation, and the next, and the next. Let this sacred ground remain a special place for as long as this city still stands. Let it remain an impactful place, a place that continues to perpetuate many times more good than all of the evil that was unleashed here 24 years ago today. And for all of that to happen, let us spend this next year considering the role we will play in carrying this legacy into this new era. Let us make 24 mean something. Thank you.